Officers have been here for about 6 hours now. We are at Capitol Avenue and Amity Street, which is about a block away from where all of this unfolded. It's kind of an organized chaos. There are several emergency vehicles here as this massive investigation continues. This has been a passionate fight on both sides that has gone on for months. Now the families are hoping those 7 justices will reverse that decision made last year to dismiss the case. This 50-page arrest warrant paints the picture of a man who police say showed little emotion after his wife was killed and lied to them from the very beginning. I spoke to all 3 of them and they say they really believe people are going to come out rain or shine. They say they understand that people know that the stakes are high.
Sujata, you're actually getting paid to shop today. That's a great assignment.
I know, and Heidi, I may have already bought something. You have no idea how much I just want to rip into a box of Thin Mints, but I'm going to save that for later when I'm at home. It's just a few minutes after 6, and I can actually see the haze in the area. You can feel that heaviness from that humidity that is already building. I've been in the early warning weather tracker throughout the morning, which is kind of a beast of a vehicle. You can see it here, and it really is so great on the roads to give you all those live pics of the conditions. The U.S. Coast Guard says they have been working very hard to break up that ice jam down in Essex, and they say it is a painfully slow process, but they are making progress, and they're expected up here in Haddam today. Irene, good morning to you. Still a very active scene here on Mayflower Road, and you can still see some of that smoke billowing out of the roof. And if you look just to the right of that smoke, you can see where that extensive damage is. The fire chief says they arrived to flames shooting out of the roof around 4:30 this morning. He says a husband and a wife did make it out and ran to a neighbor's house to call 911. They were taken to St. Francis Hospital. Now, officials say they are still working to put out the flames.
We have a fire in the basement, and we're chasing it because it's compartmentized downstairs, and we're trying to get all the fire out.
The fire chief, who you just saw there, believes that this house is a total loss. He says the fire marshal is here investigating what sparked this fire. Of course, we'll bring you the very latest on air and on our Channel 3 app. Live in Windsor, Sujata Jain, Channel 3 Eyewitness News. Officers have been here for about 6 hours now. We are at Capitol Avenue and Amity Street, which is about a block away from where all of this unfolded. And you can see that heavy police presence behind me as they continue to gather evidence following this officer-involved shooting, which happened just after a traffic stop.
Either an operator or a passenger got out of the vehicle, engaged officers in foot pursuit. An exchange of gunfire did occur at that time.
Hartford police say one or both of the officers returned fire, hitting the suspect several times. Neither officer was hurt. Police say the car took off from the scene. It is possibly a gray 4-door sedan. And at 10 Heidi, the search for that vehicle is very active. They do not know how many other people were in the vehicle when it took off. Those are all details they are trying to figure out while they interview these officers who are at the hospital. Again, they were not hurt. Connecticut State Police is here. Their crime scene van is down here. They have taken the lead on this investigation, which again is very usual given 2 officers were involved and fired their weapons. So we're going to stay on scene. It's going to be very active for several more hours. Caitlin, good morning to you. This is just an absolutely beautiful sight. I actually have chills being here. You can see those flags here. There are about 10,000 at the cemetery, and I know how much this means to the veterans who organize all of this. The Veterans of the Vietnam War chapter in Middletown has been doing this since the cemetery opened in 1986. They say in recent years, through the support of the community, it has been really amazing with families, fire departments, scout troops, and youth groups coming out. I spoke to a mom who brought her daughter and 2 nieces. She says this is what this weekend is all about.
This is our time to come out and say thank you and to show our respect to all these men and women who served and are now here, and we don't want to forget them.
Some interesting history about Memorial Day. The holiday was initially just for those killed in the Civil War. It wasn't until we entered World War I that the tradition was expanded to include those killed in all wars. Memorial Day officially became a federal holiday in 1971. Now, there will be a ceremony here tomorrow. If you want to come by, that's at 2. Or if you just want to come by and pay your respects, it really is such a serene and peaceful place to be. And of course, there are many ceremonies and memorials going on across the state. We've got a full list on our website, WFSB.com. Live in Middletown, Sujata Jain, Channel 3 Eyewitness News. Leslie and Kevin, this family is absolutely devastated. They say their son was walking home from a corner store when he was shot, but police say he was not the intended target. Overcome with emotion, Carlton Howell is left with a single haunting question.
Why they gotta take my son? Why? Why, Cleaner? Jamaica, can you tell me why? Why my son? You don't tell me nobody.
We spoke to the family of 12-year-old Clinton Howell outside their Willow Street home, a crime scene just hours ago.
We're still at shock because, you know, he wasn't the type of kid to even be associated with anything as far as gun violence. So we're all just still trying to, you know, it's very surreal at the moment.
Bridgeport police say the drive-by shooting happened a few minutes after 9 last night. They say Clinton was shot in the chest and was rushed to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. While police say Clinton was not the target, they believe the 2 people he was with may have been. Police say they are working several leads and an arrest is imminent, but that is little consolation for a family struggling to understand the unimaginable.
How is that person going to live with that, to know that they just doing some dumb stuff, and now we lost our youngest, our baby boy. He's gone.
A boy whose young life was violently cut short.
He was a lovable kid. Anybody that came encounter with him loved him. He had no enemies. He was just nice and jolly.
Police say they do have surveillance video and have developed a strong person of interest, and again, an arrest is expected soon. Judy Barney Costin received the call that every parent dreads, that her 19-year-old daughter was seriously hurt in a car accident.
I hope that nobody has to go through that. Time stood still, and I know that sounds so stupid because people say that, but it was if I was in a dream.
State police say the teen was driving in the left lane on 91 South in Middletown yesterday morning when a silver truck merged into the left lane. Sarah Barney recounted what happened next from her hospital bed.
I started beeping at him the closer and closer he got, and he just didn't go back into the right lane. I kept moving more to the left, and I hit the rumble strips on the side of the road, and I lost control and I flipped down into the grass.
There's absolutely no way that he didn't or she didn't see what had happened.
The Jeep rolled several times, ending up on its roof. Sarah, who is a dance teacher and acrobat, was badly hurt, fracturing her spine. Her mom says her future as a dancer is questionable at this point.
She'll probably never do that again. Both of her legs are broken. Down near the ankles, one ankle is shattered.
Troopers say given the fact that the truck did not hit Sarah's car, this is not considered a hit and run. But they would also like to find the driver to speak with him or her. Meanwhile, Judy says that she is grateful to the Good Samaritans who pulled over and rushed to her daughter's side.
The whole car was in flames. I mean, it started popping, pow, pow.
I saw the car just blazing, like it was totally engulfed in flames, and the telephone pole was also on fire.
3 teenagers killed in a flash. Neighbors rushed to the scene to help, but Nancy Santiago tells us it was too late.
I hear the bam, so I ran. By the time I got to the corner, I hear the people screaming. By the time I got here, you could tell the screaming went lower and lower and lower. And there was nothing that I could do.
The emotional night turned into a devastating morning as parents learned of their life-changing loss.
I spoke to the parents. I stood here and I tried to calm the parents down. And what can I say?
Manchester police say the crash happened a little after 1 this morning on Center Street. They say the car burst into flames, killing the 3 in the back seat instantly.
I was totally shocked. It's not the first time a car has came around the corner and crashed into that telephone pole, but this is by far been the worst one.
Police say the car was going east on Center Street when it crashed into the utility pole. While it is very early in the investigation, they believe the driver may have been speeding.
We're certainly looking at that as a potential factor, but again, this will all be under investigation to try and figure out exactly why it happened. But at this point, we haven't made any determination as far as the actual reason.
Meanwhile, neighbors say they are thinking of the families as they come to grips with what happened.
My heart just breaks for their families. I see their families pulling up and hugging each other and crying, and it just makes me want to cry too.
In Manchester, Sujata Jain, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.